This is Pattern Interrupt, a short episode designed to gently disrupt a belief or habit that may be quietly shaping how you feel in dating. You finally got the answer. Maybe he told you directly. Maybe his actions made it undeniable. Maybe you simply stopped hoping and let yourself see what had been there the whole time. You got the clarity you were looking for, and yet somehow you don't feel better. That's what this episode is all about. There's a belief that most people carry into dating without realizing it, that clarity will bring relief, that once you know what's real, the emotional weight will lift, that the answer, whatever it is, will settle something inside you. And sometimes it does, but more often than you'd expect, it doesn't. At least not right away. What happens instead is something quieter and more disorienting. You have the answer, but your nervous system hasn't caught up yet. Your mind keeps returning to the conversation, or the moment, or the last thing he said. You replay it. Not because you're confused about what it means, but because some part of you is still trying to reconcile what you knew emotionally with what you now know factually. This is not a sign that you're weak or that you're holding on. It's a sign that you were genuinely invested, and that genuine investment doesn't resolve the moment information does. Here's the thing about clarity. It closes one door, but it doesn't automatically open another. It ends the uncertainty, but it doesn't erase what was real to you. The connection you felt, the possibility you were holding, the version of things you hoped might unfold, those were real experiences. They happened inside you, even if they didn't lead where you wanted. Getting the answer doesn't undo any of that. It just changes what comes next. A lot of people, when they don't feel relief after getting clarity, they start to question themselves. They wonder if they're too sensitive. They tell themselves they shouldn't still feel this way. They push for a faster resolution than their emotional experience is ready to give. But the feeling of unsettledness after clarity isn't a problem to fix. It's a process to move through. Think of it this way. Imagine you've been waiting for a test result. You've been living in a particular kind of suspension, somewhere between hope and dread, and not quite able to settle because you don't know yet. When the result does come back, the suspension ends. But the feelings you were carrying before the result, the worry, the attachment, the care, those don't disappear because you now have information. They still need somewhere to go. Emotional processing doesn't follow the same timeline as cognitive understanding. You can understand something completely and still feel it for a while. You can know he wasn't right for you and still miss the possibility of him. You can be completely clear that this wasn't going to work and still feel the specific weight of that ending. None of this means you're confused. It means you're human. What helps if you're in this space right now is to stop expecting relief to arrive on a particular schedule. Let yourself acknowledge what was real about it without turning that acknowledgement into a reason to reopen what's already closed. Honor the investment you made without using it as evidence that you should still be hoping. Clarity is not the end of the feeling. It's just the beginning of the processing. And that process, when you allow it to move through you rather than resist it, it actually is where the real settling happens. Not in the moment the answer arrived, but in the weeks after, when you stop waiting for the unsettledness to make sense and simply let yourself feel less a little at a time. Getting the answer is the first step. The rest of the work is quieter, slower, and more important. If this landed for you, there's a private continuation of this conversation in the Members Only podcast, where I go deeper into what the unsettled feeling is actually telling you and how to move through it without forcing a resolution that isn't ready yet. You can learn more in the show notes. This episode is complete as it is. Stay steady, and I'll see you next time.